Came home early from my work trip to find my husband's ring on the kitchen counter. A phone was propped up, playing a recording of me sneaking into another man's hotel room. A note lay next to it, reading, "Look under your pillow." My hands trembled as I lifted it, and what I found stole my breath. This still doesn't feel real. I'm writing this because I need to get it out. I haven't slept in almost 36 hours, and I feel like my brain is on fire. I know I messed up. I know my hands aren't clean. But what I walked into, I don't know how to process it. So here it goes. I've been married to Miguel for 5 years. Together for 7. We met in Makati, both of us working the late shifts in different BPO companies. We weren't the perfect couple, but we had a rhythm. Or so I thought. Last week, I was scheduled to fly to Cebu for a 2-day work conference. Nothing fancy. Some boring panels, hotel food, then back to Manila. Miguel knew I'd be gone for 2 nights. What he didn't know is I had other plans. Yeah, I cheated. It wasn't premeditated. I reconnected with someone from university on Facebook a few weeks before. Let's call him Paolo. We talked, nothing serious at first. Then it turned into flirting. Then something more. We agreed to meet in Cebu since I was already going, and he happened to be there too for work. You get the picture. I won't pretend I didn't know what I was doing. I knew exactly what I was doing. I justified it to myself by saying Miguel had been distant, cold even. But that's no excuse. I get that now. Anyway, my trip got cut short. Or so I told Miguel when I got back on Friday afternoon. In truth, I just couldn't go through with the second night. I felt dirty, guilty. I thought if I got home early and acted normal, I could bury the whole thing and go back to life as usual. I took a Grab from NAIA, and when I got to our house in Quezon City, it was weirdly quiet. I figured Miguel was working in the garage, or maybe out getting groceries. The door wasn't locked. I walked in, dropped my bag by the shoe rack, and called his name. No answer. That's when I saw it. His wedding ring, sitting on the kitchen counter. Next to it was his phone, propped up by a coffee mug, the screen black. I thought maybe he had left a video message or something. Dumb thought, I know. I tapped the screen. It lit up and a video started playing automatically. No need to press play. He had it queued up. The footage was grainy, like from an old CCTV. But I recognized the place. The hallway of the hotel in Cebu, where I had stayed. I saw myself on the screen, looking around nervously. Then knocking. The door opened. Paolo. I stepped inside. The door closed. That was it. That's all the video showed. But it was enough. I froze. My legs went numb. My heart was beating in my throat. And then I saw the note. Right next to the ring. It said, "Look under your pillow." At that point, I wasn't thinking clearly anymore. I stumbled to the bedroom. Our bed was made, which was weird because I always left it a mess and Miguel never cared enough to fix it. It felt staged. I lifted the pillow and my heart dropped. There was a thick brown envelope under it. I opened it. Inside were photos. Dozens of them. Miguel. With a woman I'd never seen before. They weren't selfies or couple-Y pics. These were taken by someone else. At a restaurant in BGC. Holding hands. Her head on his shoulder. At a beach resort in Zambales. Hugging. Kissing. Laughing. There was even one of her wearing one of his shirts in what looked like our bedroom. There was a letter too. Handwritten. His handwriting. Neat and straight. Like always. I won't quote the whole thing, but I'll tell you what it said in essence. He knew. For weeks. He saw the messages. Saw my flight change. He'd already suspected. He said it wasn't just about me cheating. It was how easy it was for me to lie. How I could look him in the eye and say, "See you in 2 days," while planning to sleep with someone else. He admitted he had been having an affair too. For months. Said it started as a stupid flirtation, but unlike me, he fell in love. Her name was Diane. She was everything I wasn't, his words, not mine. Gentle, honest, kind. He said he only stayed because he felt guilty. Until he found the messages. After that, he stopped trying to fix things. He said he recorded the hotel footage by hiring a private investigator. That part made my stomach turn. He went that far. And then, this part really destroyed me, he said. I wanted to confront you like a man. But I realized you wouldn't care. So this is my goodbye. You can keep the house. I've already moved my things out. You won't find me. And I won't be back. That was yesterday. I've tried calling him. His number is disconnected. His family won't answer me. I don't know where he is. I don't even know if he's in the country. I keep walking around the house like a ghost. I stare at the walls. Open drawers. I check the closet, hoping it's all a trick and he's just hiding. But everything of his is gone. Even the dog's gone. I haven't cried yet. Not really. I think I'm still in shock. I feel sick. I feel shame. I feel fury. I want to scream at him, and I want to beg him to forgive me at the same time. I did this. He did this too, sure. But I started the fire. And now I'm just sitting in the ashes. It's been 4 days since I found the note. Since the pillow. Since the ring. And still, no word from Miguel. The weirdest thing? His entire online presence is gone. Facebook? Deleted. Instagram? Gone. His work email at the engineering firm he's been with for years? Bounced back. No one at his office picks up when I call. I don't know if he quit or if this is all some long game where I'm supposed to lose my mind wondering. But that's not even the worst part. This morning, I woke up to a message. Not from Miguel. From a number I didn't know. It just said, "You're not the only one who was lied to. Call me." And there was a screenshot attached. A photo of Miguel. In bed. Sleeping. Next to him? A woman. The same woman from the photos in the envelope. Diane. I swear my blood went cold. The photo wasn't old. It was taken in the same set of sheets we had in the guest room. I could see the same scratch on the headboard Miguel had made when we were assembling it. That's when I realized he had brought her into our home. While I was gone. While I was working, or worse, while I was in the same house. My fingers were shaking when I called the number. A woman answered. Calm, direct. Is this Leanne? She asked. I said yes. My name is Anna, she said. Diane is my sister. I didn't know what to say. Anna went on. She's missing. I just sat there, stunned. She's not answering her phone. Her roommate says she never came home after she told her she was going to see Miguel last week. That was Thursday. It's Monday now. I swallowed hard. Wait, what are you saying? Anna sighed. I think something happened to her. And I think Miguel had something to do with it. Everything inside me flipped. She sent me another message. A video. This time, it wasn't grainy. It was clear. Too clear. Miguel. Arguing with Diane. In what looked like a parking lot. Their voices were muffled, but the tone was angry. She looked scared. He grabbed her arm. Then the video cut. She told me a coworker of Diane's caught that on their phone while walking by Megamall's parking area. Sent it to her after Diane didn't show up to work the next day. That's when I started piecing things together. What if Miguel hadn't just left? What if he was hiding? Or worse, running? Anna and I kept talking for hours. She told me Diane had no idea Miguel was married until 2 weeks ago. Apparently, she found a receipt from our anniversary dinner in his car. That's when the fight started. Diane was planning to end it. But Miguel didn't take it well. He told her he'd lose everything if she said anything, Anna told me. His job. His name. You. I remembered what the letter said, how he said he fell in love with her. That she was everything I wasn't. But that letter suddenly felt less like a goodbye and more like a cover. What if the private investigator part wasn't real? What if he'd been tracking me himself? And used that as an excuse to vanish? I was starting to see Miguel in a light I never expected. Cold. Calculating. A man who could hold all that anger in for weeks, set up an entire reveal, and then vanish without a trace? A man who might be capable of something worse? And here's the part one haven't told anyone yet. Last night, I found something in the garage. Our spare car key was missing. Miguel's old toolbox was open. A roll of duct tape, some heavy-duty zip ties, and a set of rubber gloves were gone. Who takes rubber gloves and duct tape unless they're trying to hide something? I don't want to think it. I really don't. But something's wrong. And I'm scared. Not just of what he's done, but of what he might do next. After the call with Anna, I couldn't sit still. I kept pacing around the house, my mind spinning. I looked at the spot where Miguel's toolbox had been. I walked the rooms like I was seeing them for the first time, wondering what else he had touched, what secrets he'd left behind. That's when I decided to check the attic. I almost never went up there. Miguel always handled anything involving ladders or small, dusty spaces. But something about the missing items from the garage nagged at me. I needed to know if there was something, anything, he'd stashed away. I pulled down the ladder and climbed up. The air was heavy. Old dust, mixed with something faintly metallic. There was a locked suitcase shoved behind a box of old Christmas decorations. It was his. I recognized the keychain on the zipper, an old basketball tag he'd had since college. The lock was cheap. I found a screwdriver and popped it open. Inside was a mess. Photos, papers, a burner phone, a flash drive. There were more photos of Diane. Most looked like they were taken from a distance, her at work, her walking on the street, even one of her unlocking the door to her apartment. They were creepy. Stalker-level creepy. But the worst part? There were also photos of me. One of me leaving Paolo's hotel room. Another of me sitting in a cafe in Cebu. Another of me on a call, laughing. He had been watching both of us. Tracking us. Planning something. I powered up the burner phone. It only had a few texts saved. One was from a contact named X. No number, just a letter. The last message read, "Payment received. Drop complete. Next phase is yours." I stared at that for a long time. Was Miguel working with someone else? I plugged the flash drive into my old laptop, half afraid it'd crash the thing. What I found made me physically recoil. It was an audio file. A recording of him talking. It sounded like a journal entry. I told her I forgave her. But she doesn't get to walk away clean. Neither of them do. I gave Leanne everything. She tossed it for hotel quickies. Diane said she loved me until she found out about my wife. I was a project to her. A sad story she could fix. They think I'm weak. Let's see how weak I am now. His voice was flat. No rage. No emotion. That terrified me more than if he'd been yelling. I shut the laptop. I wanted to throw up. There was more to this. And then my doorbell rang. It was 10:30 p.m. My chest locked up. I didn't move. Just stared at the door from the hallway. The bell rang again. And again. Slow. Deliberate. Then it stopped. No knocking. No voice. I waited 5 minutes before creeping toward the door. I looked through the peephole. No one was there. But something was on the ground. A manila envelope. No markings. No writing. I opened the door, heart pounding in my ears. I picked it up, closed the door fast, locked it, and ran to the kitchen. Inside were only two things: a printed photo and a USB stick. The photo was of Miguel, standing in front of a car. Not our car. And someone was lying in the back seat, covered by a blanket. You could only see her shoes. They were red flats. Anna had described Diane's last outfit when we spoke. Red shoes. I plugged in the USB. It was a GPS file. Coordinates. A location outside Subic. And one more thing. A final line of text. Bring no one. Come alone. I'll be waiting. I didn't sleep that night. The envelope. The GPS. The picture. It all played on loop in my head, like a nightmare that wouldn't pause. Part of me wanted to call the police. Another part of me, probably the broken, guilty part, knew this wasn't something anyone else could fix. So I packed a bag, put on a hoodie, grabbed a flashlight, power bank, and a knife from the kitchen drawer. I drove. It took me 3.5 hours to get to the location. A quiet, forested road on the outskirts of Subic. The kind of place you don't find by accident. I had no idea what I was walking into. The road ended at a half-abandoned rest stop near an old trail. The air was still. Too still. I left my car running. I followed the path marked on the GPS down a slope, past a cluster of trees. I was about to turn back when I saw the light. A single lantern, glowing faintly in the dark. Next to it, Miguel. He was sitting on a fallen log like he was waiting for a grab ride. Calm. Silent. There was no sign of Diane. No car. No sound. I walked up, heart thudding in my chest. "You came," he said, barely looking at me. "You left me no choice," I replied, my voice thin. He just nodded, then reached into his coat and pulled out a photo. It was the same one from the envelope. Diane. The car. The blanket. I swallowed hard. Is she alive?" He stared at the trees. "She's not dead," he said finally. "She just stopped listening." I didn't know what that meant. And I didn't care. "You've completely lost it," I said. "You followed me. You lied. You disappeared. You dragged her into this." He stood. "Dragged her? You think I dragged her? She came to me. She told me she loved me. And the minute she found out I was married, I became a monster in her eyes. She wanted out. Like I was nothing." I stared at him. "You cheated too." His face twisted. "I didn't cheat. I escaped. I was done being scared. Where is she?" He pulled out a phone, pressed a button. A loud beep echoed through the trees. A few seconds later, a small drone buzzed from the dark and dropped something onto the ground in front of me. A phone. It lit up. A video message. Diane, tear-streaked, sitting in what looked like a cabin. "I'm okay," she said, voice trembling. "He said he won't hurt me. He just wants me to understand what it feels like to be left. Like garbage." The video ended. I lunged at Miguel, grabbed his shirt. "You're insane." He didn't fight back. "She was going to destroy me," he whispered. "Just like you did." That's when I broke. All the guilt, the shame, the fear. "You think you're the victim?" I yelled. "You're a coward. You cheated. You lied. And instead of facing the truth, you ran away and dragged someone else into this hell." He stared at me, stunned. And then he laughed. Not a chuckle. A full, cracked, bitter laugh that echoed through the trees. "You really think you're the better one here," he said. "You cheated first. I gave you everything, and you threw me away for some idiot in a hotel room. Don't talk to me about truth." "I made a mistake," I said, tears finally breaking. "A horrible mistake. But I didn't kidnap someone." We both stood there, breath heavy, like animals waiting to pounce. Then, out of nowhere, sirens. Flashing lights up the hill. Anna. She must have tracked my location. Police rushed in, guns drawn. Miguel didn't resist. He just sat back down and put his hands behind his head. They found Diane in a shed a few hundred meters away. Shaken, but okay. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. The next few hours were a blur. Statements. Reports. More crying. Anna hugged her sister like she'd come back from the dead. I didn't talk to Miguel again. Not then. Not at his arraignment. Not after he was charged with unlawful detention and obstruction of justice. It's been 3 months since that night. I moved out of the house. Can't bear to stay there. Too many ghosts. Too many memories. Diane's recovering. Slowly. She and Anna cut off all contact with me, and I understand why. I was part of the mess that brought her to the edge. Whether I meant to or not. Miguel's in custody. Waiting for trial. I got a letter from him last week. I haven't opened it. I don't know if I ever will. I think about the night I came home and saw his ring on the counter every day. I thought that was the worst moment of my life. It wasn't. It was everything that came after. The betrayal didn't just burn down our marriage, it scorched every illusion I had about who we were. We were both to blame, but we paid in different ways. Some days I feel like I deserved all of it. Other days, I just feel empty. I don't know what's next. I'm not healed. I'm not whole. But I'm here, and maybe that's something.